Tuesday night, President Donald Trump gave his first address to a joint session of Congress in his second term. My thoughts. Trump, like the Wizard of Oz, is a showman and a grand illusionist, creating his own separate reality with lies and misinformation. The only trouble is his own fantasy version of life in America that he's creating is about to slam into the cold, hard world of reality. Donald Trump can only pull the wool over the eyes of those who follow him for just so long. Soon the effects of the massive cuts to all the federal agencies all across the country will start to affect his GOP voters and veterans right in their own backyards. And Trump's tariff wars with our closest neighbors will affect all of Americans. And there will be consequences. In the 80s, Ronald Reagan's unpredictable nature may have played to America's advantage. It may have led to Mr. Gorbachev agreeing to tear down that wall, ending the division between East and West Germany. This was a carefully orchestrated plan. Trump acts on his own instincts and whims with no real plan to deal with the consequences of his actions, except to ignore the results that he doesn't like. Although Donald Trump has always loved tariffs, he does not seem to understand how they work, and it seems that his economic advisors are just as clueless. No matter how many times Trump repeats it, it is not correct. Foreign countries do not pay tariffs. American companies who import goods manufactured in those countries actually pay the tariff or the tax, and the American consumer ultimately pays for this in the increased cost of goods that used to be less expensive. Some believe the threat of the imposition of tariffs could be used as a bargaining tool, and it might be effective for a short time to get other concessions, but just as in the story of the boy who cried wolf, these tactics will cease to be effective if used over and over. There are three possible results from these very broad tariffs with our closest neighbors. Prices will rise dramatically, and certain businesses may suffer irreparable damage, losing business from our own trading partners. These tariffs will disrupt both manufacturing and the supply chain, and is likely to result in job loss here in America in the most effective industries. This could start an international trade war, end free trade, and permanently isolate the U.S. from its most valuable and valued trading partners, irreparably damaging America's fragile economy. And if we lose free trade, we may no longer be an international economic powerhouse. So the tariffs are not really America first, but more likely to end up being America on its own. Some businesses might try to move their manufacturing into the U.S. to avoid these tariffs, but this is a very long-term solution and will take years and not weeks or months to implement. And finally, these are likely to be unintended consequences of the wholesale elimination of U.S. federal agencies. There will be consequences. America will be less safe and secure in their daily lives. For now, this is Jon-Christopher for Real Political News, the White House.